Welcome again, and this week we've got another special guest to kind of kick us off and sort of sponsor the show here. And that wonderful man is Damien Taylor from Fritto Misto. All of you in the South Bay, I'm sure, are frequenters of Fritto Misto. But we did a little spotlight earlier in the week with Damien, and we thought we'd just kind of do it again in a more condensed view for the group here to kind of kick us off. So I'll go ahead and kick things off. And Damien, welcome. And if you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself, just like we did on Tuesday, and we'll just jump right in.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. I don't think I've met a couple of you, but I haven't met the rest of you. My name is Damien. I'm the general manager at Fritto Misto restaurant. Like I said, I've been there since 2002. Our restaurant, our Hermosa Beach location, actually opened up in 2001, so I was almost there from the start. Yeah, we have two locations, if people don't know. Our original location is actually in Santa Monica. That one's been there since 1993, so we've been around both communities for a while. Yeah, that's kind of the opener. Like I said, I've been there almost 20 years. It's like it's weird. It feels like a Groundhog Day, like we just did 2 days ago.
We did. No, that's perfect. So for those of you that don't know, Miss Gabby, who's been with us from the get-go, has also been here supporting Fritto Misto and bringing some ideas that she's gotten back to the team. But what we really wanted to dive in here with Damien was to kind of talk more about the internal transitions and things that they've tried and either succeeded or failed and failed fast and made changes with. So, because I know a lot of us are dealing with employees in a new situation, working through new working environments. Maybe their jobs don't actually exist anymore. A great example that Damien pointed out was like bussers. There's no tables to bus in the restaurant because nobody can come in right now. So they're all doing some different things. And so Damien, I'll just kind of let you free form talk about it, but if you can give us the kind of go back to the beginning of the pandemic and making changes, sitting down with the owner and management team, where did that start? What was the conversation, and how has it kind of transformed over these past 2.5 months?
Okay, sure. So like we started just like everyone else, like it started really becoming real, I would say probably like that mid-March kind of time when things really everyone started realizing that, this isn't just going to be a 1 or 2 week thing. This could possibly go for a while. So, and we knew restaurants, we knew pretty early on that we would be the ones definitely that would have to shut down completely because they were just talking about any kind of social setting. So right away, they were like bars and restaurants. So Robert Kerr, the owner, and I, and the other managers, Gavin and stuff, all got together and just kind of just sat down and really just started getting like our ducks in a row. It's like, all right, what's important right now? Like, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty and we have to kind of present ourselves as a leader because just like anything, I mean, you can look at even a lot of things going on today that, the main issue people are having is that feeling of uncertainty as to like, what's life going to look like next week even or whatever. So Robert, the owner, he like had us all get together, and our first thing was really to just calm your company, your crew down, just kind of, letting them know that, hey, we're all in this. This isn't just something that's affecting like the little guy or the one up top. It's like, it's all of us. Like we've kind of learned that over the time. So we right away, we had a all staff meeting, and the owner, Robert, really sat down and, kind of got ahead of a lot of it as far as, letting people know where we stood as a restaurant and where they stood as far as having a job. Like he right away sat there and we assured all the employees that we had at the moment that, hey, we're gonna keep you guys, we're gonna work through this. And I think that really helped us as a crew because then it almost got all the employees then were like all in. They were on board, like, hey, this is gonna be a team effort. This isn't just Robert just giving orders and we just follow through and not knowing what's going on. It was like right from the start, we even took the servers, bussers, everyone had them together and even had them brainstorming as to what are different ways that, you know, job position wise, just like Matt was saying, like things like busters and even say dishwashers. We don't need nearly as many because there's not that many dishes we're washing anymore and things like that. But at the same time, there are new jobs being created as far as we were a dine-in restaurant. Now we're just like 100% takeout. And, you know, what used to just be one person could handle on the front of the restaurant was the cashier, which could take the order, bag it and everything. Now it's 5, 6 times what that amount of work was. So we started then making up departments as to like, okay, well, what's the system from taking a phone call to getting the order out? And we just looked at every part and almost like mapped it out. And we almost like look at the whole restaurant as a map as to, okay, we have to keep distance, right, because of social distancing. So, okay, this person will be over in this area. They're handling the utensils, the bread, all the extras. This person is just doing nothing but packing the food. We pretty much created like a food assembly line is what we ended up doing, which kind of it kept everyone a job, which was like really the main thing. Like on our end, you know, we want our staff and everyone to feel like, hey, you know, we're with you through this. And I mean, so that was like the first step we really did as far as like, so once we had once that foundation was set, everything probably became a little easier then, because then we, like anything we needed to change from then on, everyone's on board. Everyone feels like they have a voice, that they can participate. They can say, hey, you know, this isn't working that well. You know, maybe we need another person in between where the food is and where the bread is. And we would try that out and stuff like that. So things like that really like gave people that energy, because like at a time like right now, it's so easy for people to fall into the earth is falling, or the sky is falling. What are we going to do? I'm just going to sit here and just show up, collect my check, and hopefully just get through this, rather than we kind of like energize everyone into like, hey, let's make this a team thing, and we're going to get through this together. So that was our philosophy, like from the start, like to get going through it.
I think one of the things that we talked about on Tuesday was, you know, making sure that to the customer, you still kept up that happiness, you know, bringing the joy to their day, even throughout this. So I love that you started with, we got to get our internal team set first to make sure that they're on board, they feel comfortable, and they can bring that joy, and then reinstill that. And like, hey, if you're talking to a customer, you taking food out to them, you need to still have that positive energy, and that's what we need from you guys. So I love that. I think that you guys have done an amazing job for a lot of the constraints that you've had to work within.
Yeah, and even on top of that too, we actually had to like retrain everyone as to like what the rules are with COVID-19 around, like things like, you know, we have to tell them, okay, even if I'm not in the front, you know, you have the authority to tell someone that doesn't have a mask that, hey, you can't come in, like things like that. We're so used to having our servers and busters be like, say yes to everything over and over, but now we're in a different time where actually there are moments when we have to, no matter who you are as staff, you have to put your foot down and say, you know what, no, you can't sit here and to take your mask off while you're in here to do A, B, or C, or you know, so yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, anybody else on the call, I mean, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions of Damien. Some of you are in similar positions where you have teams and staff, and some of you aren't, but you know, I'd love to get the group kind of asking some questions before we move on to the mastermind.
Damien, what do you think has been, it's Brian here, what has been the biggest challenge when it came to not your staff, but kind of educating your customers about what's available to them? Like what you're offering?
I think, or are you asking what the biggest difficulty is, or like what we're offering? Like differently?
Yeah. Well, what's been the biggest challenge for you in that kind of adjustment?
I think it was still it was transitioning in from my job as when I'm a floor manager out there. My job was always, you know, to make sure that all the customers were okay, and that was like, it's a totally different like thing to have it where I'm going around table to table, making sure things like, you know, it's not dirty, that everyone's like drinks are filled, that everyone's having a good time, to having that just be really a 1 to 2 minute conversation. But it didn't mean that we just throw it out and not do it. It was like, okay, well, now we're going to have all of this just in a concise little 1-2 minute interaction. So like some of our mantras are still, everyone says hello to when people walk in, you say goodbye when they leave. You, you know, if you have time, you know, if it's a regular customer, ask them, hey, you know, how's your day going? If you know they have children, how are the children doing? So it's like we still wanted to keep all of that going. The problem I'd say we had more was dealing with just say new questions, new things that customers were coming to us with. Like, you know, some would come to us thinking that we had more answers, you know, than the public does. Like, you know, hey, do you have any word that's going to open up in the next week or something like that? And, you know, we just kept it light. Like, hey, you know, we're in the same boat as you. I'm on message boards. I'm in chamber emails and stuff like that, trying to find out the details just like everyone else. But the main thing was it's like as much as that was going on, was we really wanted to make sure that at least coming to eat or coming to get food at our restaurant still felt like just a regular part of your day. So a little normalcy going on rather than us coming in saying, yeah, I don't know. Do you know anything? We're trying to open up, or we're not doing great. We're struggling. Instead, it was like, no, we're just going to be that calming force. And I think that helped a lot.
That's awesome. So I know that one of the areas of the business that you had to kind of spin up faster was that grocery
Mm-hmm.
component, right? So
yeah,
sort of buy it from us, take it home and cook it yourself. So, you know, I love that you guys jumped in there and partly you were ready. I mean, you had the back end system that was already kind of there. You just didn't have the velocity to really streamline it and build it out. So I'm curious, like, as we move forward and kind of learn more about what the new situation of this is going to look like, do you guys plan on sort of pivoting that sector of the business so that it is more prevalent, or, you know, have you even thought through that yet?
I think we're definitely going to keep that as a big part, because I think in the beginning, Robert wanted that to be another part, kind of immersing us into the neighborhood. Like, not only are we a restaurant, but we're like almost a little Italian grocery store. So, you know, if you wanted to get, you know, fresh pasta, fresh sauces and stuff like that for a night, or, you know, a good olive oil or balsamic vinegar, it's like, hey, you can come to just go to the local restaurant and stuff like that and be able to order it. So I think, if anything, I think it's just really helped highlight that. I think it helped with a lot of other places as well that were already kind of offering groceries and stuff. I just think the public didn't realize that, you know, that was a thing. I think they kind of thought most restaurants are keeping all of their products like close to the chest. Like, I don't want people to be able to make it on their own. They have to come in. But yeah, I think from now on, I think that's going to be a pivot in just restaurant industry in general. There's going to be, all right, another source of revenue will be people from now on that aren't going to say maybe want to dine in as much, but still say love your food or want to be able to, you know, get like high quality pastas and sauces and stuff like that.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see how the marketing changes a little bit to kind of suit that too. You know, because with new product and new capabilities, obviously I'm a marketer, so I get jazzed up about what people are doing on the marketing side of things. But I'm totally in there. Love to see what you guys have as you kind of refactor this into the business plan. And yeah, I'm really excited. So
another thing that helped too. Another thing that helped I just thought about too was the like you say, they include like our digital presence really picked up a lot too, like during this. And again, it was a thing of timing where it's like I think just with all of us, like we get so caught up in our own work and just going through. It was like, you know, I always just thought of the Instagram and, you know, redoing the website, or just like small things compared to, hey, I got to figure out what's going on with our quality of this product seems to have gone down. We got to fix this. But now that we have all this extra time now, this was actually a good moment for us to, you know, really push our digital presence out there a little more, which in the future now with everyone having to do all their purchases and stuff digitally anyway, like it was a good timing for us to really get out there and, you know, have our presence known.
That totally love that, and really, really great point. Kelly, I think you had a question.
I did, but he kind of answered it. I wanted to see what he thought was going to happen in the future, and he answered that. So that I love your idea, and I think it's great that, you know, you already had that in place, but it's fantastic that you're continuing to implement that and making it a restaurant, takeout and to go, or takeout and delivery, and high-end products. So good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people that typically join, like I think of Tamisa with her business. You know, she had some things that were already going, and she just dove in and was like, well, I'm gonna really focus on this and put energy into this. So it's really looking at like, what are the new opportunities in front of us based on the things we already did. And a lot of it, and we talked about this before, but like looking at your business in a way that from the outside, you know, looks different, because from the inside, we're all business owners, we're all up on our own stuff, and it's hard to kind of see that other view. So I love when people like us jump in and find that new opportunity and just like nail it, just go for it full force. I think that's awesome.
Can I, as Tamisa, can I ask Damien a question?
What was that? I'm sorry.
It's Tamisa. Can I ask Damien a
Oh
question?
yeah, go for it. Jump in.
Hi, Damien. I'm Tamisa from Tamisa's Treats. I have a made-to-order bakery, but I used to be at a farmer's market. And just before we finally got kicked out of being in the farmer's market, we had to do all the distancing and things like that. But my question is, have you had to deal with any customer compliance issues? Because we had to make sure people didn't touch packages, otherwise we would have to wipe them down, even though we had signs. So I was just wondering if you had any issues that way and what you did about it.
Yeah, my thing, or I've been telling all the staff in the front, is to, like, you know, we have to just be understanding at a time like this that, you know, not everyone is on the same pace as far as what they believe is, you know, enough as far as safety. So we've definitely had issues, nothing major, but definitely had it where, you know, one person calls out, you know, someone else that they may be picking up food or something, saying that, hey, you know, like this person is breathing on my food right there or something like that. And, you know, we kind of like, you know, we just, you know, we just keep a smile, you know, and we just settle it by, you know, just telling them, hey, you know, we're doing what we can here. We take in information, because, you know, there's a lot of customers too, that feel, you know, they feel connected enough to the restaurant that they want to come and give you like their advice to say, hey, you know, I think you guys should A, B, C, and D or whatever like that. And we're like, you know, so just like how we do normally in a restaurant, you know, we'll always take in stuff like that and say, hey, you know, bring it up with the owner and stuff like that. We'll figure it out. But yeah, the main thing for us is like just making sure we keep control, meaning that, like, you know, we had it got a little out of control, I'd say, like Mother's Day, which any restaurant that day was like, there were just so many people coming in. But even in that moment, it's like we need to have somebody there to like kind of just tell everyone, hey, this is the rule. Only 2 people allowed in a restaurant on this square and that square. Everyone else form a line outside. And you have to like keep the order in that way, which is kind of different from us, because being a restaurant, a lot of times you're used to just never say no to the customer. You always just like tell them yes, 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 that's right. At these times, these are one of those moments now where we have to, because it's the safety of our staff as well. Like, just to like, you know, help one person get what they want, is it worth like, you know, our staff becoming infected and us having to maybe even close because, you know, we have now our own staff has COVID-19 or something. So for us, a lot of times it's, you know, try to like limit the opportunities for that. So even for us, we've implemented things like we push the time that we tell people food is ready, like 5-10 minutes later or whatever, just so we don't have a crowd all coming at once. We want to make sure that, you know, it's literally like you come in, pick your food and go. So we kind of almost segment that, because once you get too many people all at once, it's like you can't really control what conversations or things that happen with them.
Right. Damien, I have a question. I know, like, when I've been there, like, people come in through the door and then kind of leave out the other door. What about if you were to set up a table that blocks one of the doors, and then you kind of just have people
we've been talking about, we're talking about getting to that point now too. Like, I definitely, like Robert and I talked about that 2 days ago. Just kind of, it's getting to the point now too.
Coming in.
Yeah, and I think too, as time goes on, I think people are getting more and more restless. So in the beginning, you know, everyone was listening. If we told them, hey, you got to stand here, stand that, But over time, it's like all of us, like you can tell that we're all evolving. We're getting a little more anxiety coming in, things like that. So I think we are eventually we're going to have to transition to keeping everyone outside now, because it's like you say, we have to be the leaders in this. Like, we can't leave the customers just think that, oh, they're going to handle all the rules. Like we have to, if they're not going to follow the rules, then we have to kind of make it so they can't break it, really.
Do you have a lot of people who just order by phone or mail, or do you have people that come there and order specifically, like in person?
Most of them are by phone or like through like a DoorDash or something like that. Like we're expecting for this for the holiday weekend, we'll probably get a little more of that, like people walking by and they may want to come like walk up and like place an order, which people can do anyway. I mean, we have like the menus and stuff. We do have all that set up out in front of the restaurant. That was another thing to prevent from people that that aren't wearing masks that want to come in and order. We don't want to come.
Printing them in larger, like in poster size. Like if you
we have it against the glass too.
Yeah, and post it up there. And if you even want to make it more simple for yourself too, I don't know, like you could number your items as well, or
absolutely.
Oh, keep it. I know it's so weird, but you got to keep everyone like on the glass side. And then just advertise things there, and maybe even doing like quick posters, because Costco prints good big posters for a decent price. You could just switch those things out, and just people can see them as they're coming by or walking by.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Great idea, Chris. I think Austin had a question, and then we'll move forward.
Yeah, real quick. You touched on both of those points, but if you had to say which is more of a challenge or more of a focus, more so on like bringing people in, the marketing side, keeping everything busy, is that more of a challenge, or would it be more of a challenge to service everyone with the new restrictions? Like, is the efficiency an issue? Taking care of everyone. So, I mean, I guess, is it more of a challenge bringing people in or taking care of everyone, like with everything going on?
That's a good question.
For us, we're kind of lucky. It's more about taking care of everyone, just because it's such a small town that it was like, bringing the people in. Like we've been doing things, but like it's such a small town, they have their things that they love here. So it's like, for a lot of people in the South or Hermosa Beach area and stuff, like we're their go-to for Italian food. So it's like we have like a solid base as far as people going to it. Our main thing is like we don't want to lose some of those people on things that we could have like prepared for, which would be like bad practices of cleanliness and hygiene and stuff. We don't want to lose people because we decided to allow people to we'll set up some tables right up front to eat and stuff like that, and that it then turns off other people. Like our main thing is like, let's just be safe first, make sure that we do all that we can do to keep everything safe, and and that takes time. That takes a lot more energy on like all these like to-go dishes, rather than just when you had it was just free, make the food, put it on the plate, give it out or whatever. But it's something that we're willing to do. That everyone should do really at this point, just to help us get through this a little quicker.
Do you have those people who would do the busing, doing the cleaning now, or keeping that, so you're not focusing on that? That's their job, to focus and making sure people are.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we did. Like when we had the meeting, like we gave everyone power. So we're just sitting there saying, hey, this is your job now. So it's like you say a busser may have it where, hey, this is your job now to make sure clean the bathroom, clean the floors, make sure that all this is sanitized. Even things like the pens that people use to sign and stuff like that. There's someone that's assigned to like disinfecting pens once the customer used them. We have a whole dirty pen section. Disinfected, come to the clean side, things like that. Always offering, hey, we got multiple units of sanitizer all over the place in the front right there. So we just try to do all that first and make sure that everyone is, because that's the main thing. It's like you want people comfortable. You don't want them like checking out and just noticing that all these things you're doing wrong, so now they don't feel comfortable even giving you their business.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Good. I'm glad you're doing it.
Hey, Matt, I think it's
Yes.
time for us to jump into our breakout rooms. If you want to
Yes.
give everybody the lowdown, I'll make you. Thank you, Damien. I appreciate this, and let's go ahead and Matt, if you want to lead us in, I'm going to make you our featured speaker here for a moment.
Okay. If you'll give me access to share my screen too, that would be great.
You should have access to it. Do you not?
No. It says host
You don't have a
disabled
share
attendee
screen?
screen sharing.
Oh, why? Okay. All right. Well, fun fact, Zoom has changed a feature again, guys. So give me just a quick second here and we'll share our screen. Zoom, always every new week they change something here. Apparently now in meetings you have to give that feature. One second,
I'll raise
Matt.
my hand
I shall
so you know
give
it's
you.
me.
Yeah. Let's see here, Matt. 1 second.
No worries. While you're figuring that out, I'll just kind of warm people up. So I think pretty much everyone has been here before. A couple new faces. Thank you for coming, and thank you to those who have invited new folk in to the mastermind. So we do this usually on the front end. We'll run a little educational session. When we have a sponsor in, we like to give them as much time as possible and tell their story, because I think that we can all kind of latch on to that. But as we get into the breakouts, we'll break into rooms, and we'll just hit. Each person has roughly about 10 minutes, and you'll focus on. So you kind of lead and kick off with the problem or the question that you have for the group, and then everybody else will chime in, ask questions to clarify if they need some clarification, and then they will provide hopefully some really good ideas. I think we've had tons of really, really good ideas so far. And can someone let my wife in from the wings? Brian.
You did it. I'm
okay.
in. Thank
Score.
you.
We're on it. All right. Well, I guess without further ado, I don't want to cut into anybody else's time. So Brian, if you want to break us into those breakouts, you guys will see a little note on the screen to join your session, and we'll kick things off.
All right. Well, I'll just put that up while Matt wraps up with the takeaways.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the big takeaways from our group was Leo had an amazing idea. So Daniel is targeting new business owners with his design business. And Leo gave him the idea to look for new domain names that were purchased recently in the last month or so, and then target those people as they're likely a new business to see if they need design help. So I thought that was an amazing tip to go and look at those. And Daniel or Leo, I know Kelly had to drop, but if you guys have any other takeaways, feel free to just drop them in here.
So the only other thing that I would add was that I really like Dan's idea of just calling up people that you know and talking about something that's not business, because just sustaining an existing relationship, and maybe something will come from it, and maybe it won't happen immediately, but you stay in their mind, and I think that that's really important. So I thought that was a really great tip.
Yeah, thank you.
Love that. So Sarah, how about your group? What was the big takeaway from your breakout room?
So Sarah ended up being, we had a joining issue. So I actually led that group, led by Lisa Green and Lisa Benson and Rose and Taras. And I'll highlight one thing that the two Lisas are now going to power partner on is Zoom fatigue. Lisa Benson, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, I've already got bullet points going. I can't wait to do a one-on-one with the other Lisa B. But I really think the fact that all of us are on so many Zoom calls every day, there's some really simple things we can do to make the experience amazing, effective, and not exhausting. I don't know how many of you have been like on back-to-back Zoom calls an hour at a time. I tell you, I can do 3, 4 is exhausting, 5, I'm dead. So, if this is the new reality, we need to be able to do this in a really neat way. And I know Lisa B will rock it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's easier to do multiple Zoom calls when you drink a lot of wine.
Yeah.
I believe alcohol was the #1 item on the list.
I know. I was
there we
thinking
go.
how
I'm
nice
back.
it is to be able to drink wine, from home while I'm Zooming.
Yeah.
Wine, scotch,
Nice.
whatever.
Yeah.
Say.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, that was and Lisa, when Lisa Benson and Lisa Green, whenever you guys get that together, let's have you come and present that to the group. We'd love to have you put that presentation here to everybody here, so we can all get acclimated, because we are definitely all eventually going to have a lot of Zoom fatigue if we're not already having it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Who is our? I think our other group was led by Carissa.
Hi, yes. So we had Ken, Ellen, and Austin. I think Austin's on a phone call currently. But we'll have Ken do a little takeaway. He's dedicated his life to OstroStrong now to help people build muscles and get healthier. So Kevin, please let me know, let the group know what your takeaway was.
Yeah, well, actually, I thought you had a really good suggestion in having my son or having myself do little short videos of actually doing sessions and talking about results that people will get, and that I personally got, my son's personally got from doing sessions. And so people have more of a sense of like what it is, what does it look like, what does it feel like. I thought that was really a great idea, because there's a lot of testimonials, there's a lot of promotional material that exists. Yeah, there's a lot of research that backs up the efficacy of the osteogenic loading that we do. But I thought your point was really well taken, that people don't have a sense of it from just a conversation. They really sort of need to see it and then to hear real life examples of results. So I thought that was very good.
Interesting. So essentially the idea is that you would have multiple small, short, quick videos?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Like YouTube,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a concept.
And then Matt, I think our last breakout room was led by Colleen.
Maybe.
Colleen, do we have?
Still with us,
oh,
Colleen? Oh, you're on mute. There we go.
Hey, hey, Colleen.
Hi there. First off, we talked about a lot of things, and was the very last question, is Tamisa on there? Is she still there?
Yes.
I'm still here.
I'm here.
Do you want to give the feedback, Tamisa?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay.
You were a great leader, Colleen, so go for it.
Well, there was a lot of questions that were popping up, and we were all pretty engaged, thinking out of the box and trying to personalize more things for everybody, especially since we had Damien's restaurant, Fritto Misto, in our group. And I think the very last question was, is your marketing, are you marketing to a different customer? Is that right? Was the last question?
That was one of them. That was one of them. Yeah, I think, I'm not sure if that was the last one, but yeah.
That was has your ideal customer changed from pre-COVID-19 to post-COVID-19?
Yeah, I think we could all say a balance of yes and no, because yes, we're still in need for what we do, what we supply. For instance, Joel's in our group, and Joel is a real estate agent. So is his customer going to change? Well, he did mention on the the drone video, real-time video that he has to do through Instagram. He has to stay on and walk people through. Is he going to have purchases from someone like a bigger investor instead of just a family looking for a home? So we came up with that, and we did talk about if I had to, as an organizer, switch to a subscription or a membership, what what kind of customer is going to sign up on that. So yes, I mean, the answer is I'd say a half and half balance of, yes, we still have our same clientele. We're not getting to them the same way, but we're also designing a new clientele, reaching a bigger group of people through a different means. So I think that's probably the smartest thing we could say today, that is the best discovery. And then the second part of that B part, which we haven't talked about yet, is how do we put that, you know, into action? We didn't get into that just yet.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Cool. Well, guys, we're just about at time here. We're 3 minutes shy of the top of the hour, which is usually we're over. So I'm glad we were able to stay on pace this time. Thank you, Brian, for leading. Oh, don't spotlight me. That's dumb. Everyone knows what I look like. They care about. I'll just move the painting in front of the camera next time. Everyone would love to look at that.
Make it bigger. Have it be your backdrop.
Yes.
Take a photo of it and have it as your little picture when you're not on screen.
And I'll position myself so it's right over there.
Attacking you, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, if you want to highlight next week we're going to be led by Carissa Catalina, who's going to be highlighting the mask business that she's been launching.
Awesome.
Yes. Long time production.
So yeah, so for everyone, especially all of us looking at, you know, having to wear masks in some way, shape, or form, politics aside on it, it's a part of reality now, and we'd rather do it comfortably. And I myself have a mask. I don't remember, right here, that is a Carissa Catalina special. I had her make one specifically for the bearded gentleman, so it covers my beard. And she'll be our guest that week. And then the following week, if you're not familiar, Bamit is going to be joining us and discussing some of the things that they've been doing throughout the last 2 months and moving forward. So if you're not familiar with Bamit's going to be a great guest for us, and that'll be, I believe, on the 4th. Is that correct? Is that a Thursday?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know what today
by all
is.
means,
It's Thursday. That's all.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
3-day weekend. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
as
so,
always, you know, Brian kind of kicked off there. We've got a couple presenters coming up in the next few weeks. We will provide some additional materials because usually we like to lead off with some marketing takeaways. And while we're featuring these stories of some of our members and peers in the industry here, we still want to give you that advice and be there for you. So we'll have those, the helpful handouts and templates as well. And one thing, we didn't have it on the slide here, and that's my fault, but I would love it if you guys would invite everybody you know. I mean, we want to blow this thing up. Let's break that 1,000 capacity. But really, if you'll just invite 2 people to come join us next week, even if you can't make it, please just have somebody come in your place, and that'll help keep the group going. And if you have any questions or want to get in touch with any of the members and you weren't able to get their contact information while in the breakouts or right now during the chat, please reach out to my@locallinks.online. Brian, do you want to?
Yeah. I don't think that, but I did want to say, Tamisa, you put a shameless promotion. I love shameless promotions, and I want this to be an opportunity. So if you do have any shameless promotions, feel no shame and let us know. If you can send us over even a full blog, we'll be happy to post your blog on our blog. And the one thing we ask is within that blog, note how you've note the adapting aspect of it is one of the key parts of what we're looking to do. So if you do have content that you're looking to get out there, we'll be happy to put it up on our social media and put it up on our blog, and feel free to send that over, and we'll highlight you as someone that's been attending our events. And we did that actually today. If anybody yesterday, if anybody didn't see it, LAX Coastal is hosting a PPP event tomorrow at 9 a.m. And it's going to be for small businesses to learn more about kind of the next phase of the loans that are being given out by the government. So by all means, feel free to pass anything on over to us. Yep, Matt just went ahead and resent over there the link that's in the chat. And that's from Kelly over at LAX Coastal, I think, she had to step away. But
Yes.
We appreciate you guys all joining us. It's been awesome.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week, if not sooner.